Janakana Yash Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Amala Harinama Miya Bilasa Vipina Purandara Nabina Nagara Bara Purandara Vamsi Badana Suvasa Vrajajana Palana Shurkula Nasana Nanda Godhana Rakhwala Govinda Madhava Nabanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Bashanahara Rasha Rashika Kripa Maya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakati Vinoda Ashraya Yashamati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Harinam Sankirtan ki Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara Mare Prabhu Daya Kara Mare Tumhe bina ke dayalo jagat samsare dayalo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara Mare तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसार पतिता पवना है तो तबाय अवतार मशमपतिता प्रभु न पाइबे हा हा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलकन कर आमे बर दुखी दया करो सीतापते अद्वैत गोसाई अद्वैत गोसाई तब कृपा बोले पाय चैतन्य निताय हा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्ट जुगा श्री देवहा प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संग मगे नरतम दास श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया कर मोरे तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Hari Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo Mare तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसार जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन जय श्री राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय महाप्रभु 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 जय महाप्रभु जय पंचतत्व 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 जय पंचतत्व जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्रीमन महाप्रभु श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव शुभ दर्शन आरती की. Now we'll read from Brahma Samhita, text 29. We can have one more mic. That might help. Prabhuji, you can pick up one more mic. You can repeat. Chintamani prakara sadmasukalpa vriksha lakshabriteshu shurabhirabhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra satasam brahmasebhyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Venum kvanantam arabinda dalayataksham Barhabatam shamashitam buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti kamani abhishesha shobham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Alola chandra kalasad banamalya bamsi Ratnangadam pranaya keli kalabilasam Shyamam tribanga lalita nimanyata prakasham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Angani yassa sakalendriya vrittimanti Pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti Ananda chinmaya sadujjvala vigrahasya Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam Adyam purana purusham nabayobanam cha Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Panthastu koti satavatsara sampragamya Vayurathapi manasa munipungabhanam Sopi asti at prakapavadasinya bachinta tattve Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ekapi ashura chaitam jagadanda kotim Yaschaktirasti jagadanda chayadanta Andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Yad bhava bhavito diyo manujastathaiva सम्प्राप्य रोममहिमासनयानभूषा शुक्तैरमेव निगमप्रथितैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिः ताभिर्यैव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोकैव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। प्रेमाञ्जनच्छुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्तगुणाशरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिसुकलान्यमेन तिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोद भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्ण स्वयं समभवत् परमान् पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटि कोटिशेषवसुधातिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। मया हि यस्य जगदण्डशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्य तद्विषयभेदवितायमाना सत्त्वाबलं परसत्तं विशुद्धसत्तां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसत्मतया मनसु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्रश्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। गोलोकनाम्नि निजधाम्नि तले च तस्य देवी महेशहरिदामसुतेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनिचयाभितश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका छायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि च तिष्ठतेषा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। क्षीरं यथा दधि विकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते नहि तथा पृथगस्ति हेतो यः सम्भुतमपि तथा समुपैति कार्याद् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। दीपार्चिरे बहि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत दीपायते विविध हेतु समान धर्मा यस्त्र एव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यः कर्णार्णवजले भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्डसरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब परां समूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अश्यैकनिश्यसितकालमतावलम्ब जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। भास्मान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेज श्रियं कियत् प्रकटय अपि तद् अत्र ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यत्पादपल्लवजुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समय सगणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहान्तमलस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अग्निर्महि गगनमम्बुमरुद्दिशश्च कालस्तथात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयानि यस्मात् भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यश्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेष तेज यश्चैव भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्र गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोऽथ पापनियच्च सुतयास्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपतवा जीवा यद्दत्तमात्रविभव प्रकटप्रभावा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्त इन्द्रगोपमथवेन्द्रमहर्ष कर्मा बन्धानुरूपफलभाजमातनोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहज प्रणयादिभीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावे सञ्चित्ततस्य सदृशीं तनुमापुरेथे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रिय कांता कांता परमपुरुष कल्पतरवो ध्रुमावो निश्चिन्तामणि गणमये तोयममृतं कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं योति परममपि तद्वास्वादमपि च शयत्र शिराब्दिशवति शिरभिश्च सुमहान् निमेषार्धक्यो व्रजति नहि अत्रापि समय भजे शेतदीपं तमहमिह गोलकमिति यं विदन्तस्ते शान्तशितिविरलचारा कतिपय ईश्वर परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणं ति ब्रह्म संहिता संपूर्णम हरि ओम Hare Krishna. Thank you. So this is a beautiful prayer Lord Brahma, the supreme intelligent creator of this world, offered to Sri Krishna. It describes the spiritual world. So we'll now sit. Please accept your asanas, and we can put some chairs also. Just feel comfortable, and we'll have some discussion from the pages of Bhagavatam. This is better. Like this. Vertical is better. We'll first sing Jai Radha Madhava. So this beautiful song describes the spiritual world. That's our eternal home. So we saw two descriptions. We should know our home, right? So we are fortunate to have a description of that. We saw in Brahma Samhita, when we go through the translation, we can go on our own. We can see the description of the spiritual world is there. Is the volume okay? I think it needs to be a little bit up. And this particular song also, the simple song, it describes also the spiritual world and activities of the Lord. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. A little bit explanation so that it helps us to connect. It's like Jai, all glories. To whom? Radha and Madhava. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath. Radharani is Krishna's internal energy. She is Krishna herself. Krishna expands. She is original. She is always existing. Krishna's pleasure potency. So Radha and Madhava. Radharani is also the supreme most devotee. And whatever devotion, love for Lord we have is nothing but a particle from her. So Radha and Krishna is telling all glories to Radha and Madhava. Kunja Bihari. Kunja means little bushy forest. In Vrindavan, the Lord's spiritual abode, there are kunjas where they do pastimes. They play. Kunja Bihari. Bihari means to go. So what Radha and Madhav does, This is a beautiful description of the spiritual world. They go in between the kunjas, in between the bushes, the forest. Gopijana Ballabha, all the gopis, simple cowherd village ladies. Gopijana Ballabha, Lord is, Radha Madhav is their heart. They all living for them, both of them. Gopijana Ballabha means everything in their life is Radha Madhav. Girivaradhari, we know the famous pastime of Krishna where he, to crush the pride of Indra, to deliver him. This false ego that we carry is the biggest problem, because of which we are unable to accept that there is a Supreme Lord, although it is very, very evident. Let's say today you have to pay the bill for oxygen. How much would it be? We are getting free. Who is providing? Provided by the simple Supreme Lord. Who is giving water? Who populated water in the river? Who did all the mechanism that it automatically gets absorbed into the cloud and shower comes? And so much of crops are growing because of that. So that's all done by the Lord. So only due to our false ego, we can't accept that there is somebody supreme. We think we are the supreme. Everything I can achieve by my own power. But although we fail so many times, we know that. Yes, to endeavor, our endeavor and also Lord's mercy, both are required. So Girivaradhari. So one time, Lord Indra was very proud. And he became so proud. This pride, false ego, our biggest enemy. So when that haunts us, we want to even destroy everyone. We see if power is in the hand of a person who is not self-controlled, then it's very dangerous. It can actually cause a big destruction in the whole world. So Indra was proud, and to deliver Indra, to deliver him from the false ego, Lord, he hold the Giri, the Govardhan Giri, Giri Govardhan, on his little finger, this, which is the weakest finger. Girivaradhari. So he is famous as Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana. Lord, just like in any legal paper you have to write your parents' name or father's name, identity. Similarly, Yashoda Nandana. So Krishna's identification, Krishna loves to be addressed as in terms of his devotees. Yashoda Nandan, Radha Krishna. So Krishna is the child of Mother Yashoda. Her Vatsalya Prem, love is the supreme. And Brajajana Ranjana, the spiritual world, Brajabhumi, Vrindavan Dham, he pleases everyone. Krishna is pleasing to everyone. That is why the name is Krishna. Krishna means who is all attractive. So it is not a sectarian name. Lord is Lord of everyone. It's not a particular Lord of sect. Often people misunderstand that, and that's why they fight among themselves, although Lord is one and He is all attractive. Only if we open our eyes and heart with open heart. So Brajajana Ranjana, He gives pleasure to all the Brajavasis. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. And what He does? Sometimes we think Lord is like a nobody or He has no activity. No. He is Purna Purushottam. He has everything. That's why we also have activity. We have also a form. We have some liking. Because it is coming from Him. So He enjoys in the bank of Yamuna river. Jamuna Tira. Tira means in the bank of Jamuna. Banachari. There is a forest. And He enters there. And he does his pastime. It's a beautiful sloka. Barha Piram Natavarabapur Karnikoyo Karnikaram Vibradvasa Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayantim Chamala Randhran Venu Radhara Sudayan Pabishad Gopa Kirtir Vrindaranam Sapadaраmanam. Sorry, I think I messed up a little bit. You can probably know this too. So there it describes also that how the Lord he enters the forest of this Vrindavan and he enjoys. So Lord has activities, and those activities attract us, the conditioned souls. So that's why there is a description on the spiritual world activities. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। So now we'll begin our discussion. But before we begin, we need the blessings of previous acharyas. Without the blessings of the acharyas, we can't understand the import, the meaning of the scriptures. So we always seek the blessings. And to start with, the offer our respect to Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who took a lot of trouble, painstakingly came to United States, and he roamed around the globe, taking a lot of trouble at his old age. Because of him, today we are all able to discuss Krishna Katha and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we'll do the mangala-charan to seek the blessings of previous acharyas. You can repeat. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sha Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhannitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Te Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpataro bhayascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayatam Surato Pango, Mama Manda Matirgati, Matsarvasya Padam Bhojo, Shri Shri Radha Madana Mohano. Om Namah Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Jase Abhirbhava Vajranakha Vajradamshra Karamashayan Randraya Randraya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmane Bhuishtha Om Shrom Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Batirna Kalo Samarpaita Munnata Ujjvala Rasam Sabhakti Shriyam Hare Purata Sundara Dute Kadamba Sandipita Shadaridaya Kandare Spuratova Sachinandano Nilachal Nivasaya Nitaye Paramatmane Balabhadram Subhadram Jagannathaya Namo Namaha Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gauradaya Puspabanto Chitra Sando Tamonudo Mukham Karate Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Thank you very much for coming. Please feel free to sit on chair, just feel yourself comfortable. So, today we'll be discussing one of the very, very important sections of Srimad Bhagavatam, Queen Kunti's prayers. In fact, this prayer, Mother Kunti was a queen. Her prayer comes very, very first, in the very, very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. One of the first prayers. I think this is the first prayer of her in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's prayers of Queen Kunti. Because she was so devoted that his prayer is placed first in Srimad Bhagavatam. And there is a lot to learn from her. And we'll see how her lessons can actually impact our life, in the sense it can make it much better. Only if we can implement and learn some of the principles that she is expressing through her exalted prayers. And these prayers had been discussed for the past 5,000 years by many, many exalted saints. And this is a very, very revered prayers. So this goes into Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 18 to 44. So, just to give a brief overview of the situation, what's happening, unfolding there, is that the context is that the war is over, but the Pandavas, Lord Krishna, who is always a protector of his devotees, he's protector of everyone. But those who surrender unto him, his devotees, he specially protects them. Just like anybody here in this world, if you are rendering service, you have a special relationship with that person, right? He's inclined to give you a special favor. And anybody can be that. So that's why the Lord is, he's impartial, at the same time he is partial. He's impartially partial, meaning that anybody can become devotee of the Lord. Anybody can align their life in accordance with the teachings of the Lord and thereby get his protection. That's open to all, actually. Just like anybody can follow the laws laid by the government. But it is the Hare Krishna, secure blessings. So anybody can follow the law of the government and lead a happy life. Similarly, anybody can follow the law of the Lord, is the law of the cosmology, and we can derive happiness in this world and also in the next. So there was a war, and after the war, Ashwatthama, who is the son of Dronacharya, very exalted, he is not only the son of a Brahmin, but he is the son of Acharya, Dronacharya. But what he does is that out of envy, he takes a revenge and he literally slaughters all the sleeping soldiers, all the children of Draupadi, not giving them an opportunity to even fight. He just beheads them. You can imagine. So we can see, although Ashwatthama, who forcefully acquired this knowledge of Brahmastra, although Dronacharya understood he is not capable. Brahmastra is like a nuclear weapon. It's by mantra. So, but for that one has to have adhikar, means qualification. A huge power given to a person, unqualified person, can be a big disaster in this world. And we have seen that time and again. So that's why the character is the most important thing. If the character is not proper, then the power can be disastrous. So that's why Srila Prabhupada said that you will know my disciple by how gentlemen they are. They are perfect gentlemen. That means they have perfect character. So this Ashwatthama, he slaughters, he kills all the sons of Draupadi, all the soldiers in a cowardly way. And after that, Lord Krishna became Sarathi. He became chariot driver of Arjun, and they chase Ashwatthama. So Krishna, although he is the Supreme Lord, he loves to serve his devotees. And he don't mind taking a humble position time and again. If need be, he can become a guru and instruct Arjuna. That's why we have the Bhagavad Gita that came. And if need be, he can render menial service. He can become a chauffeur. He can become a chariot driver of his devotee. He takes pleasure. So he is setting an example how we can serve the devotees by doing some seva to them. We are discussing today morning that Sachidananda Maharaj, His Holiness Sachidananda Maharaj was telling that if we have to develop attraction for the Lord, then we have to hear from his devotees. Because devotees are carrying attraction for the Lord, they can only give. So by serving the devotees, that attraction get transferred to our heart. So here, Ashwatthama, when he did that heinous activity, Lord Krishna becomes the Sarathi and Arjuna chases him down, and by fear, Ashwatthama releases a Brahmastra, Arjuna also releases another Brahmastra to counter that. And then we all know eventually Arjuna countered both the Brahmastras and he captured Ashwatthama. And then there is a discussion between the Pandavas that what we should do with him. So one group says, see, Draupadi, although she is the mother, but she says that please forgive Ashwatthama. And whereas Bhima says, no, you have to punish. So finally, under inspiration from Krishna, what Arjuna does is he takes the money away, the jewel, the power stored in his head away from Ashwatthama, and he cuts the hair and he let him go, let Ashwatthama go. But Ashwatthama, although he was forgiven, he was let go, but he did not learn his lessons. So that's why we see this ungrateful attitude can keep us ever dissatisfied, no matter what we have, no matter how many times we are forgiven. But that doesn't register on our head if we don't develop this attitude of gratitude. So Aswatthama was ungrateful that he was forgiven. His life was saved. He again releases another Brahmastra. This time to kill a child who is not even born. Can you think about that? How much cruel that is? A child in the womb who is not even born, he releases a Brahmastra to kill that child. That child was Parikshit himself, who was a great devotee of the Lord. And we know then Krishna, he actually enters the womb taking the form of this thumb, this much size, and he rotates around the womb and he protects from Brahmastra. That's why Krishna is our only protector. Even when everything in this world can fail, but only Krishna can protect us. That's why we should never leave the shelter of Krishna. We see in the story of Gajendra also. So there is all the Gajendra was inside the water, crocodile caught his feet. And he was completely helpless. He was the king. Suddenly, we see that's why in this world, suddenly, when everything is good, going good, suddenly some calamity happens and we are in between. It just comes all of a sudden. That's how the nature of this world is. Padam padam yad vipadam natesham. So suddenly the danger. That's why the nature of this world is that dukkhala masavshatam. That it's primarily full of misery. And it can suddenly come. So we have to be prepared how to deal with it. So we see Gajendra, when Gajendra, the king of the elephant, when his leg he was having a wonderful time. Nice sunny morning like this. He goes with his female elephants, his child elephants, powerful in a crowd. He goes and he was showering this water to everyone. Suddenly, all of a sudden, this crocodile catches Gajendra. And he doesn't leave. 10,000 celestial years, Gajendra fought. The crocodile did not leave. That's why we see in our life also there can be some problems. Not every problem can be solved. There could be some problems. Eventually there will be some problems. Actually, it's not maybe, it will be. That which will not go. Not every problem can be solved in our life. There will be some problem like this crocodile will hook onto us till the end. For example, there could be some disease which will be there. There could be some financial problems which could be there till the end. There could be some relationship issues which could be there till the end. But for Gajendra, the highest moment of happiness was after 10,000 years when he realized that I cannot solve this problem on my own. That's why Arjuna also, see the turning point for Arjuna. First chapter Arjuna spoke, Bhagavad Gita. So many problems, so many reasons why he has to fight. 2.7 Karpanna dosa pahata swabhava prichhami tam dharma samuracheta yashreyasa nishchitam brohitan me shishyasteham shadimam tam prapannam. Karpanna dosa. Oh my Lord, my heart is overcome with weakness. Unless we humble ourselves to surrender to the Lord. Lord is not a person who forces us to surrender. He can go on listening to our complaints, our justifications, till we voluntarily surrender to the Lord. But that day will be the turning point in our life, which day we tell, oh my Lord, I've exhausted all options. Oh my Lord, My heart is weak. I'm unable to fight with this anarthas that has overcome in my life. I surrender unto you. So 2.5 till 2.7, Krishna listened what Arjuna had to speak. God listens to us, what we have to speak. Till we voluntarily give Him the control of our driving, of our life. Krishna is eager. He is looking at us life after life. Only if we can give Him the opportunity. We see in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who is a great Pandit, a scholar. He was the scholar of the king, Raj Pandit. He was very powerful. He made Navadvipa the supreme place of scholarship because he memorized one Nyaya Shastra completely, which was there only in Mithila. And he knew all the Shastras. But when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first time came to Jagannath Puri, he could not accept the Lord as the Supreme Lord. So then Gopinath Acharya said, his brother-in-law, that only by the mercy of the Lord can you understand that He is the Supreme Lord, not by the power of your knowledge. Because Krishna is Swarat, supremely independent. He reserves the right to reveal Himself. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very first verse. Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the authentic scripture, this Srimad Bhagavatam. It's told by Vyasadeva. 1:1:1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasya Yato Annayaditaratas Charte Savigyo Swaran Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Mayihanti Yatsuraya Tejo Bari Mridam Yatha Vinimaya Hatra Trishargam Risha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So he is Swarat, supremely independent. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya could not understand the Lord Chaitanya. Here on the left side we see Radha Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had an affection because he was very elderly and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just 24 years old. He's like a kid in front of him. So he had a slight vatsalya bhav, a parental affection. So he served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that seva. So when he served the Lord, then we develop sukriti, means devotional currency. And when we have lot of devotional currency, that is when we start understanding the glories of the Lord. Not before that. So that's why every opportunity to serve Krishna and His devotees we should not miss. Because by that we earn devotional currency. This bank balance will go away. How much ever thousands of dollars we have, car, house, this and that will go away. Every life we have been doing that. But this devotional currency, which is another bank account we have, this bank account will carry on. So if we do little bit of devotional service, there is currency deposited in that bank account. Devotional currency, not material currency. And the way to earn is to render seva, render service. We can broom the floor, we can serve prasadam. In kitchen we can do the cleaning, we can scrub, we can make a plate for a devotee, we can give a asana. We can chant together, speak Krishna Katha, hear Krishna Katha. So when we render service, we earn devotional currency. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, that way he rendered some seva to the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then was also very affectionate to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So out of affection, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said that you are a young sannyasi, 24 years old. How are you able to keep up the vow of sannyas? So let me instruct you on the knowledge of the Vedas. A sannyasi must study Vedanta. Krishna said, by Vedas I am to be known. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya Vedanta krit ved vichaham. Right? He is the essence of the Vedas. Krishna, to know Krishna and his pastime is the essence of all the knowledge in this world. Because all the knowledge is emanating from him. Otherwise, our life remains unsuccessful. Why? Because we lose everything. All this knowledge we'll forget. Again, you have to start for A for apple, B for boy. It goes on. But this knowledge, whatever we acquire, we don't lose that. So, out of that affection, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said that you should listen the Vedanta. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed. 7 days, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat in the class and Sarvabhauma was speaking the Vedanta. 7 days. And after 7 days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, oh, you have no question? Because unless somebody is either speaking something, even if somebody is objecting, still that's a response. But if no response, then one other person feels very uncomfortable. 7 days. So it's as a Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat and heard for 7 days all the Mayavadi Bhasya that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying. Concocted knowledge. So, in this world, people concoct so many things about God, about creation. But the knowledge is right there. Just simply we have to accept it. So, Sarvabhauma said, you did not understand, or what is it? So Lord Chaitanya said, the knowledge of the Vedas are shining like a sun. It is self-effulgent. But your explanation is like a cloud that is covering the meaning of the sun. Like the vision of the sun it is covering. Sarvabhauma said, really? The first time he heard somebody challenging him like that. He said, okay, you have a better explanation? Then please go ahead. And Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Person of Godhead. And he explained how Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. And he actually established how this Mayavadi, this concocted explanation is actually covering the real meaning. Vedavyas, he himself has given the meaning. So why to concoct something? So that's why we see in this world many people, in fact every people is searching for the supreme truth. But because they have not surrendered themselves to the process, although the answer is there, they are unable to accept it. So they concoct something, a theory about creation, a theory about evolution, so many theories. But they can't break it. They don't have that complete knowledge. Because an incomplete person cannot give a complete knowledge. We have 4 defects, right? What are the 4 defects? Can anybody help? Imperfect senses. Our senses are imperfect, right? The specs itself is a proof of that. Everything is hazy now. We can only hear certain frequency, even without specs. Still this eye is imperfect. Anybody doesn't have spec, still their eye is imperfect. Why? Can you see what is? They are very far away, 200 miles away. You cannot. Some birds can see that. So we are falling short. Sometimes animals have better sense strength than us. Their senses are more strong. So imperfect senses, right? Cheating propensity in this world. Everyone is imbued with this defect of cheating. Everyone is trying to cheat. That's why you see most of this industrialists, so many people, politicians, they end up in some kind of scam or something because they try to cheat somebody. Imperfect senses, cheating propensity, and get illusioned. Kuhakam. They get completely illusioned. No matter what one is, he gets illusion. A simple example, Srimad Bhagavatam also says that Tejo bari mridam yatha. Just like when we drive, summer is approaching, right? Sometimes when drive you see, it's like a watery, it feels like. Right? So that's like an illusion of water. Mirage, right? That's illusion. That's a gross level, but so many illusions in the mind that bewilders us. And I told 3. What is the 4th one? Commit mistakes. Even the greatest persons commit mistakes. So we have to humbly admit, this is the reality. My dear, these are the reality of this world. An imperfect person cannot give it. So that's why he cannot give a perfect knowledge. That's why perfect knowledge can come only from the perfect source. So, Om Purnamidam. So, Krishna is Purna. So, only from him, Ishopanishad tells, he is the Purna, Parameshwar Bhagavan. So, after 7 days, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clarified, and then he explained Atmarama verse in so many different ways. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got convinced that only the Lord can explain like this. And then he surrendered. Once he surrendered, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the vision of his Sarabhuj form, 6 form, Krishna, Lord Rama, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Krishna takes that much trouble. He is ready to listen for 7 days, for 7 lifetimes, for 700 lifetimes, till we stop our justification and surrender to the Lord by surrendering to his devotees. And after that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's heart was touched. He was a changed person. After Arjuna surrendered, Krishna started speaking the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. After we surrender, our life starts changing. Surrender is usually a difficult word in this world. It is perceived very difficult. Surrender means it's like a life-threatening thing. But actually, it's a loving surrender. It's a sweet surrender. Just like a lover submits himself or herself to the beloved willingly, voluntarily, out of sweetness. This surrender to Krishna is not out of fear. It is out of love. It's a loving submission. So that is the beauty. It's all sweet. There is no fear. After we surrender to Krishna, we don't need to surrender in this world. Surrender we have to. In this world, we have to surrender to so many things. But once we surrender to Krishna, then all other surrenders are gone. So today we'll see from Queen Kunti's prayers. So after Aswathama killed, then Uttara. So Aswathama released a Brahmastra and Uttara came running to Krishna. Who was Uttara? Uttara was the wife of Abhimanyu. Who was Abhimanyu? Arjuna's son. These 5 Pandavas, the devotees of Krishna. So we all know Abhimanyu got brutally killed in the battle. He was fighting battle for justice. But 7 soldiers surrounded him and butchered him, breaking all the rules of the war. But here, see, the devotees, they never lose faith on Krishna, on the Lord. In our life, we may have lot of difficulties coming. But we should never lose faith on Krishna. Here, Uttara is not, she doesn't have a doubt that Krishna will not protect, whether he will protect or not. He did not protect my husband. He did not think like that, not even for a second. So she straight goes to Krishna. She is not even approaching the Pandavas, who was the father-in-law. Usually, first thing is to approach the family members, right? And we know the Pandavas, they are very powerful. But Uttara is not approaching the Pandavas, he is approaching Krishna. She is approaching Krishna. So it's natural for a devotee to surrender to Krishna. Same thing we'll see replicates in Queen Kunti's prayer. She is not complaining that, oh Krishna, you gave me so much trouble. It's not like that. But she is praying to Krishna. Similarly, Uttara is looking for protection and Krishna did protect. So this faith, Brajavasis also we see, this faith is what makes a devotee great. And faith is the barometer of advancement. A Kanishta Adhikari, a neophyte devotee, a beginner has very little faith that whether Lord will protect us or not. And we'll try so many things. Yeah, we must try. But we should know, just like Prahlad Maharaj said, that even if one is parent of a child, he may not be able to protect the child. Even if one is a doctor, he may not be able to protect the patient. Even if one is a boatman, he may not be able to save the passengers in a boat unless it is sanctioned by the Lord. So, same thing goes here. So, Uttara surrendering and Krishna protected. And after that, Krishna is leaving. That is when Queen Kunti comes and offers her prayers. And we'll see the beauty of her prayer. How Queen Kunti is praying. So these verses go from 18 to 44, Queen Kunti's prayer. And we'll see how much ever we can cover. Not everything we can cover, but we can probably read on our own. So this prayer goes from 1.8, 0.18 to 43. And it is divided into few sections. So I'll just give the summary before we begin. First 3 verses, 18 to 20, Queen Kunti tells, knowing the Lord, he tells that how we should approach the Lord. And there is a great lesson actually for us to understand. So we'll start with the 1:18. So the sloka goes like this. Kunti uvacha namasya purusham tadyam ishwaram prakite param alaksham sarvabhutanam antarabahirabasthitam. These beautiful prayers actually. These prayers, now these are like powerful mantras. And if we can imbibe these mantras, it can actually be a life savior. If anybody wants to repeat, please go ahead and repeat. It's just beautiful to sing. Okay. Kunti uvacha, Srimati Kunti said, Namasya, let me bow down. Purusham, the supreme person. Ta, you, Adyam, the original. Ishwaram, the controller. Prakite, of the material cosmos. Param, beyond. Alaksham, the invisible. Sarva, all. Bhutanam, of living beings. Anta, within. Bahi, without. Avasthitam, existing. So this is the Sanskrit text. So all the saints, they spoke the great knowledge in the Sanskrit. Srila Prabhupada very kindly translated it to reveal the great treasure that it contains. Translation. Srimati Kunti said, "O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all." Very, very important verse. So Queen Kunti is offering obeisances. So there is a question answer going on here actually, internally. You are offering obeisances, but I am your nephew. No, I'm not offering obeisances because you are nephew, but because Krishna happens to be by relation nephew of Queen Kunti. Because you are the supreme person of Godhead, that's why I'm offering obeisances to you. You are the original personality, but there are so many personalities. No, but you are the original personality. Namasya Purusham Tadyam. Tva you Adyam, the original. So who is Krishna? First line reveals. So Queen Kunti is familiarizing ourselves in first 3 verses of her prayer that who is Krishna. So first line tells Purusham Tadyam. Purusham ta Adyam. So Krishna is the original Adi. Adi means oldest. Original personality of Godhead. We sang in Brahma Samhita today morning, which was Lord Brahma's prayer, the creator. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Again the same thing comes. Anadir Adi means you are the beginning. So the Bhagavatam theory of creation is that Krishna created everything. So that's why scientists cannot go beyond Big Bang. They remain confused. But simple answer is, even whatever it is in this world is created from the Lord only. So that's why Bhagavatam, Queen Kunti is telling, she's clearing that in one sentence. Namasya Purusham Tadyam. Ishara Prakite Param. Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam. And Ishvara Prakite Param. Prakite Param means Ishvara means you are the controller. And Prakite Param means the material cosmos. Param is beyond. So that means you are unaffected by this Prakriti. So the material nature cannot overpower Krishna. That's why he is the Supreme Lord. It can overpower us. That's why when we surrender to Krishna, then the material nature leaves us alone. Otherwise it will torment us. Because Krishna is the Lord of the material nature. Mayadhakshena prakriti shuyatesha characharam. So Krishna is the Mayadhaksha, Adhyaksha. He is the Lord of that Maya. Ichhanurupam. By Krishna's will, the Maya works. Just like a shadow goes as per the Lord. So, the only way to get rid of this Maya is to surrender to Krishna. Only then, otherwise it is impossible to actually get out of this Maya, not on our own. And how Maya is attacking us? Lust, greed, anger, envy, pride and illusion. These 6 are the weapons of the Maya. On our own, it is impossible. It's like a dog's tail. We must try, but we should know that ultimately we have to surrender to Krishna and his devotees. And affected by the qualities of the material world, you are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. So Krishna is there both within our heart and outside also. But he is invisible because we don't have the qualification to see him. He is right within our heart as a Paramatma. We are Atma and Krishna is Paramatma. That's why Krishna very mercifully becomes accessible, visible to us in the form of Archa Vigraha. So the deity form of the Lord, the form that we see here in the temple, Krishna manifests himself so that we are able to access him. We are able to offer worship to him. That's why deity worship, taking darshan, offering prayer to the Lord is very powerful. Because by that we can actually be able to connect to the Lord. It is Krishna's mercy that he becomes visible to us. Okay, somebody wants to read the purport? Yeah. Sure.
Quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Nityo Nityanam Chetnas Chetnanam. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. The living entities or the demigods like Chandra and Surya are also to some extent Ishwar, but none of them is the supreme Ishwar or the ultimate controller. He is the Parameshwar or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the teacher of the Vedanta.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you can read. I think you wanted to volunteer. Yeah. Okay. So, why don't you... Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You have to switch it on.
Hello? Oh, I was wondering if it was okay to ask a question. You were talking about Maya before, and I was wondering, was Maya created because it says that Krishna is very merciful? So, if you want to forget Krishna, Krishna gives you forgetfulness, and if you want to remember Krishna, then he gives you remembrance. So is Maya created just because people wanted to experience pleasure without Krishna, so he gave them like a shadow version? Is that correct?
Yeah, you answered your own question. Because Krishna as a supreme lover, supreme friend of us, he facilitates every desire. We'll never get in this world such a person who loves us so much that he is even willing to do that much. So he creates a facility where we can forget him and we can enjoy like Krishna. Because living entity, you see that at one, so they become envious of Krishna and they wanted to enjoy like Krishna. So there's a competition with Krishna. But thing is that in the spiritual world, there is only one Lord, that is Krishna. And everybody else is serving him. So he facilitates, he creates this world where everybody can think themselves as the Lord. It's an illusion. We know, we can't even control our urge. It's a morning, we have to respond to nature's call. We can't even control that much. What to speak of being a Lord and this and that. So many diseases happening. So many things are happening. So many things are beyond our control. It just needs some honesty to accept that. That's it. That there is a Supreme Lord. So Krishna created, yes, as you so nicely said, yes, Krishna created this world so that a living entity, a rebellious living entity can falsely experience himself as the Lord. But actually that will never give us satisfaction, because that is not our real position. Our constitutional nature, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jivera Swarup hai Krishnara Nitya Das. Our constitutional nature is we are eternal servant of Krishna. So falsely thinking ourselves as the Lord will keep us dissatisfied. We might get little pleasure of controlling something or someone, but in the long run we'll be dissatisfied. That's why we see so many people, most of the people, almost all the people are dissatisfied. Although they have so much wealth, billions of dollars of bank balance, house, car, everything, but heart is crying. Smiling faces, crying hearts. Why? Why that happens? On the other hand, a simple person offering a flower to Krishna is completely happy and satisfied. He doesn't need anything. Without anything, we can be happy in this world, just by serving Krishna. That was the case with Kholabecha Sridhar. In the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakash Leela, when he was revealing his Ishwara Bhav, that he is the Supreme Lord. So, that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called out for Sridhar, go and get Sridhar. Sridhar is unknown. Nobody knew who Sridhar is. Devotees asked, how shall he know who is Sridhar? So, Mahaprabhu said that you know Sridhar by he will be loudly chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is his identification. So devotee's identification is that he chants the name of Krishna always. Either in his mind or in his clicker or some bid bag, you will see a devotee is always chanting Hare Krishna. So people rushed, and then they saw his heart was completely like, he has a simple heart, a clay house basically. And that clay house is a thatched roof. With some tree leaves it is thatched. And there is so many holes in that. And when it rains, water falls. And whole night he chants Krishna's name. And side by namers, they throw some vegetables. You hungry person, shut up because you are so so hungry, that's why you are chanting, loudly screaming Krishna's name. Be satisfied, take this cabbage, this squash, and just shut up your mouth. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Srivas, and he was, as told by Mahaprabhu, he was in ecstasy, he was chanting Krishna's name. So if we can just chant Krishna's name, we can be completely satisfied. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So we have to take pleasure in these simple things, these simple gifts that Krishna has given us. What are the simple things? Chanting the holy name of the Lord, taking Krishna Prasadam, hearing Krishna Katha. That's it. That's why Srila Prabhupada said simple living, high thinking. We live simple, but in this modern world, people live complex and think very simple. How to eat, they think like that. how to enjoy more. But those are all very simple thinking. So when Kolabacha was Sridhar was actually Kolabacha, people gave his name because he was selling banana leaves, which is a very cheap thing. His name became Kolabacha. But his name is Sridhar. So Mahaprabhu got Sridhar and he asked, Sridhar, please take some benediction. I will give you Ashtasiddhi. Ashtasiddhi means 8 mystical perfections. What are the perfection? Anima, Lagima, that whatever we want, we get. Let's say if Krishna tells, I'll give you Ashtasiddhi. Yes, please. Means Ashtasiddhi means basically whatever we want. We want money, we'll get. We want health, we'll get. We want to go somewhere free. No, you don't have to book in Emirates or anywhere. Just fly, free. Immediately you'll be there. That is the mystic power. So Mahaprabhu said, I'll give you immediately. Sridhar said, I don't want any of this. Then what you want? Please take something. To satisfy Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu insisted. And for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu, then Shiva said, if you at all want to give me something, please give this benediction that life after life, I will do that bargain with you. So Mahaprabhu, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is on the left side, when he was little child in Nimai, in Navadvip, in the village, he would every day go and do a bargain with Sridhar. What is the bargain? It's out of love. So he will sell banana. He will tell Sridhar, you are taking lot of price. Sridhar will say, no, it is the genuine price of a banana stalk, banana leaf. No, you are taking lot of price. You have lot of wealth. One day I will reveal you. Wealth means spiritual wealth he has. Wealth of love. So when we have this wealth of love for Krishna, wealth of love for God, love for others, that is the supreme wealth. When we have this wealth, we do not need the wealth of this world. We may utilize the wealth for Krishna's seva, but we ourselves don't need it. We are happy and satisfied. So with simple things like Krishna Prasad, chanting this mantra, this is called mantra because it liberates the mind. So when we are satisfied and take pleasure in these simple things, we should endeavor to take pleasure because the real pleasure is here, nowhere else. So Sridhar said like that and Mahaprabhu was so satisfied and Mahaprabhu immediately gave Sridhar Krishna Prem. The supreme goal in our life is the Prem, that love for Krishna. And he immediately started dancing, crying, jumping in ecstasy, out of love. In this world, people cry out of remorse or lamentation. But he was crying out of ecstasy, out of love, intense emotion for the Supreme Lord. So yes, Krishna has created this world so that we can falsely think ourselves to be a controller. But no matter how much we try, we cannot be controlled. We can't be a controller, no matter how much we try. That is the nature of this world. We can falsely think. For example, in the forest, tiger goes. And just on the back of the tiger, there is a little bird announcing, "Pee, pee, pee, tiger is coming, get out." All the animals, they run away. It's a real thing. So tiger, although so powerful, he can devour practically anybody. But there is a bird sitting, announcing, tiger is coming, tiger is coming. That's why we see in this world, no matter who we are, we can be a tiger, but there will be a bird sitting and whom we cannot control. No matter how much big controller we are. We can see repeatedly that thing. In this world, if you see the real-time events also, people try to be controller, try to be the enjoyer. But my dear, that is not our constitutional position. So all you have to do is simply surrender to Krishna. That's all. Today morning, we were reading in the Japa, His Holiness Satsavur Maharaj was telling, this process of Bhakti Yoga, this process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahantra is deceptively simple. He used this adjective, deceptively simple. It is so simple that we may miss it. The perfection is right here only. Nowhere else we need to go. But he also explained this important thing, which really I took it to heart. He said that, but our mind wants us to be our mind servant. The biggest enemy is sitting right in our heart only, not outside. It is our own mind. Our mind wants us to be mind servant. It's almost like a separate entity, you can think. It's like an autopilot thing. It gives command and we follow. Yes, sir. Go there. Yes, sir. I'll go. Do this. Enjoy like this. The next moment it will beat us. Why do you enjoy like this? The same mind which tells us enjoy like this, control like this, next moment it will beat. You did not know? Why did you enjoy like that? Same mind blames only. So the nature of the mind is accept and reject. So we should aspire to be not servant of the mind. That's why stress comes in this world, because we obey the command of the mind. That's why we feel stressed. Because mind's demands are endless. It never stops. That's why Rupa Goswami said, Kamadinam kathina katida. So there's a beautiful sloka where it says, this mind is merciless masters. But that's why this Shastra Bhagavatam, we are reading Queen Kunti's prayers, Prahlad Maharaj. So they give us the solution to come out of this trap, that we surrender. Surrender, it's a sweet surrender. It's not a fearful surrender where Krishna is holding a gun. No. As we explained, Krishna is ready to listen to us, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, 7 days. Arjuna, 1 full chapter. For us, so many lifetimes, Krishna is listening our justification. But the day we say, Sishyasteham sadhimam tam prapannam, my dear Lord, I have exhausted all my justification. It's not possible for my own to overcome my anarthas. I surrender unto you. It's a sweet, loving surrender. Just like a lover submits to the beloved. We see how Krishna is doing chariot driving for Arjuna. That day our life will take a turn. So we can continue reading. I hope that, I think you already answered your own question. Thank you. Just we ended a little bit over on that. So we can continue reading. Anybody else wants to continue? So we can do from Bhagavad Gita 15, Srimati Kunti as her nephew. Somebody can read the mic. Yeah.
So we're reading from Bhagavad Gita 15.15.
I can read from Srimati Kunti as her nephew.
Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the Lord says, I'm situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all-pervasive or localized. In fact, he's both, but he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows.
Yeah, so next Queen Kunti actually, we'll explain in the next verse. So we'll read the Kunti's prayers, but just on the previous part that even this sloka also tells that Maya covers the person's knowledge. It gives a false identification where we identify with our body and relations with the body, with our house, with our car. If our cars gets banged, we almost feel like we are banged. So that's the work of Maya. But there is a Mahamaya, but when we surrender to Krishna, we transfer to Yogomaya. Yogomaya helps us to come closer to Krishna. Yogomaya is part of Radharani, who is right beside Krishna. She helps. That's why you should pray to Radharani to kindly give us love for Krishna, because whatever love we have for Krishna is only her part and parcel, only her little fraction. That's why it's called aparad. When we offend a devotee, then that part of Radha gets offended, and that's why Krishna takes it very seriously. That's why aparad means distance from Radha. That means distance from bhakti. So for some time, so we can, today morning we were listening to His Holiness Sachidanand Swami Maharaj, little excerpt on how the key to success for our chanting. And he was explaining that this Sharanagati means basically surrender, the Sanskrit name. Surrender is more like a challenging word, but actual what we want to say is called Sharanagati. It cannot be exactly translated to English, but the closest is surrender. It's more than that actually. Sharanagati essentially may mean that you are my all in all. That is what is Sharanagati. So Maharaj was telling that, Sachinandan Maharaj, he was telling that just like a hungry beggar begs to a wealthy person. I can't forget that statement. It is so profound. That is the mood of approaching the Lord. First of all, we should be hungry. We should feel that I need this. Because no matter what, if we have knowledge, if we have process, we have so many things, but we cannot digest if we are not hungry. What is digestion? Means the realization, realized knowledge. It will not be realized. It will not go into our system if we are not hungry for it. Parikshit Maharaj was hungry. Queen Kunti was hungry. Why they were hungry? Because Parikshit Maharaj was cursed for within 7 days to die. And he felt that he is lacking. He felt the need for shelter. So when we feel the need in our life, unless we realize that we are incomplete, that we need Krishna, we need devotees, we need to chant the holy name, we need to hear Krishna Katha. This knowledge won't digest in our brain. So Sachinandan Maharaj was telling, just like a hungry first qualification, first key to success in our spiritual life. We have to be hungry. We have to realize we are incomplete. Just like Arjuna realized that there is no other option. He has exhausted all the justifications. We have given enough justifications. How long? How many years shall we give more justifications? This intelligence, when overpowered by false pride, gives justification. Why, how, why and how, both. Can we bypass this sweet surrender? So this, I got lost the thread. So this Queen Kunti, actually, anyway, let's start. So Maya Jabanika Channa. So we can give lot of justifications, but unless we are surrendering, I was talking about Sachinandan Maharaj, right? Beggar. So hungry is the first thing, right? Hungry means we feel incomplete in our life. And that is true. Not realizing that is false. That's why Kaviraj Goswami, he did not fake it that I am lower than the stool in the street. This humility, one of the definition of humility is honesty. Unless we are humble, we can't surrender to Krishna. Unless we are humble, we can't realize the knowledge of Krishna. We have to be humble before Krishna and before his devotees. So that is the qualification, first qualification to understand and advance spiritual knowledge. First qualification, that's why, is humility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he gave only 8 verses, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not more than that. In 8 verses, all the essence of all the scripture is there. It's like concentrated apple juice or whatever, is the concentrated of all the Shastra concentrated. So in the 3rd verse, he gives this qualification of approaching the holy name. How can we approach the Lord? How can we chant the Suddha Nam? Means pure holy name. So he gives this qualification. Trinadapi suni chena tarorapi shahishnuna amanena manadena kirtanaya shadaharihi. So in this verse, Trinadapi sunichena, that one has to be humble than a blade of grass. Blade of grass, how it is when you step over them, it remains fallen. That's why it is mentioned blade of grass. Because grass sometimes pops its head up. After the boot is gone, it again straight. So sometimes we become humble in a situation. So many people are there, we remain humble. They are gone. In our isolation, we become proud. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. If we have to please Mahaprabhu, we have to be humble always. It's very difficult. But we should at least know the goal. We should at least try for it. We should at least cry for it. We should at least beg for it. We should at least pray for it. So in all circumstances, blade of grass. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. We have to be tolerant like a tree. A tree, even if you cut, it still gives shade. It always gives fruits. Unless one is humble, one cannot be tolerant. So, like a tree, that's why Srila Prabhupada, he always wrote, your ever well-wisher. We have to try. We have to struggle. It's an austerity. We have to try to be well-wisher of everyone, including our enemies, so-called enemies. That is tolerant. Otherwise, why did we sign up for this path of devotional life? We have to be tolerant like a tree. Amanina manadena. Don't expect any respect. So it is increasingly difficult. Even if one gives up everything, still this expecting respect is there embedded inside. We have to try to get rid of that. And the solution is given. Manadena. You give respect. That is the easiest. In these 4, it goes in the reverse order. So the easiest is you try to give respect. That's where it all starts. Then we'll become qualified not to expect respect. Then we'll become tolerant. Then we'll become humble. So we should try every opportunity to give respect. Let me make a plate for a devotee. Let me give an asan. Let me serve a devotee. Let me glorify a devotee. So like that we can try. It's a practice. It's a practical thing that can be done. And the result is miraculous. And the next verse tells how to achieve that. Trinadapi sunichana tararopi sahishnuna amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kabitamba jagadisha kamay. Mama janmani janmanishare bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. Vaishik Maharaj loves to tell that, that aspiration, that we should have aspiration. This is the right aspiration. When we have this right aspiration, then we can become humble. So this verse is telling no other agenda, no other impurities. It's the purification of aspiration. What it is telling? Na dhanam. I don't aspire to enjoy wealth. Na dhanam, na janam. But I can utilize wealth if it comes in Krishna's service, but not for my personal enjoyment. There is no harm earning money. But we should be eager to use in Krishna's seva. That is the aspiration. Aspiration is not to enjoy, but okay, if I earn more, can I give more donation? Can I help this wonderful preaching mission more? That's the right aspiration. Na dhanam, na janam. I don't want janam. I don't want any following in this world. I don't want to be the enjoyer and controller. But if janam comes, if the glorification comes, then I can use it in Krishna's seva. Any example of that? There's a famous example. So, you know Madhavendra Puri, right? When he got this in Gopinath temple, the kheer, Gopinath stole. So Krishna again stole kheer for his devotee, Madhavendra Puri. Krishna doesn't mind doing a menial seva for his devotee. Just like he became chariot driver of Arjun. So then the fame reached Jagannath Puri even before Madhavendra Puri could come. But Madhavendra Puri utilized that fame in seva of Krishna by getting chandan very easily, sandalwood, which can be used in Krishna's lotus body. So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. I don't want to enjoy the pleasure of opposite sex. So in this world, people so much, actually, in fact, Srila Prabhupada said the whole planning, everything surrounds that. And Kabitam means the people will write Kabita on me, that glorify. Oh, such a great person, see. Many people donate because they will get glorification, you see. He donated 1 million for feeding this, that. So people go after that. No, I don't want any of this. Then only it will become. So this is what I want then. Mama janmani janmani share, that my life after life, I only want thing. That bhavatad bhaktir, that I want to understand the Lord. I want to serve Him. That's my real position. That's why we see in this world, everybody is serving somebody or other. Service they cannot give up. That is one's constitutional nature. Service they have to do. They cannot give that up. But the right place to serve is serve Krishna, because that is the original position. It's like serving our father, our mother. When we serve our elderly parents, we become satisfied. They don't need so much. But if you render little seva, you are satisfied. They are also satisfied. Similarly, when we serve Krishna, Krishna is satisfied, we are satisfied. It is like watering the root of the tree. People are trying this, that, so many things. So this is the aspiration. Mama janmani janmani share bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. Without any reason, it's not a business. That I give this and I get something out of it. Ahetuki tvai. So this is the aspiration Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. And then we become naturally humble, tolerant. As Vaishak Maharaj was telling last Sunday feast, a beautiful thing. I really love it. He said, let us be 33% more tolerant. Let us speak 33% less. Amazing. So we should try that. So let's go to the next verse, 19. Maya jabanika channam adhakshajam Ajnana adakshajam abhayam na lakshashe muradrisha natanatyo dharo jatha. So these are beautiful verses offered by Queen Kunti, who was a simple lady. So in this world, we don't have to become great devotees. As Vaishik Maharaj said, we don't have to become great devotees, we have to become good devotees and chant great rounds. Chant great japa. Queen Kunti is an example of that. She was a simple lady with 5 children. She lost her husband. She didn't have so-called position because the kingdom was taken away. But we see for becoming devotee, there is no material qualification required actually. The real qualification is one's own devotion itself. And just by that, what a knowledge Queen Kunti revealed. That's why Queen Kunti's, her prayer is the first prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is put first. Even if we can understand half of what Queen Kunti says, even if we can understand quarter of it, 1/10 of it, our life will become successful. It is so, so powerful. We saw in the first verse, Queen Kunti is telling how to approach Krishna, who can understand the Supreme Lord, who can make their life successful. So she continues. In the second verse, let us read that word by word. Maya, deluding. Jabanika, curtain. Achannam, covered by. Agya, ignorant. Adhokshajam, beyond the range of material conception, transcendental. Abhayam, irreproachable. Not. Lakshashe, observed. Muradrisha, by the foolish observer. Nata, artist. Natyadhara, dressed as a player. Yatha, as. Translation: being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor, covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So just like a actor, he acts in a drama and he is not understood that who is he. And sometimes the dramas are so good that we can't recognize the person. He exactly acts like that person. So Queen Kunti is telling that Maya Jabanika Channam, that this Maya covers a conditioned soul from understanding the Supreme Lord. You are eternally reproachable. So by our power or challenge, we cannot understand the Lord. Only by the mercy of the Lord, only by the mercy of devotees can we understand the Lord. Covered by the curtain of deluding energy. And that's why you are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam ebame obhekti tattvada taktva deham punar janma naiti mameti swarchina. That Krishna's birth, his activity is transcendental. This much also if one understands, his life is successful. So Queen Kunti is exactly telling like that. It's a Maya Javanika Channam. Just like on a cloudy day, the sun ray are covered by the cloud. Although the sun is much beyond, right? A cloud is a little portion, but it covers. Similarly, this Maya covers our understanding to the Lord. But when we surrender to the Lord, who is Mayadhish, who is the owner of the Maya, this curtain is removed and we can beginning to understand the Lord. That's why one of the ways to experience good chanting is that we surrender to the Nam Prabhu, that we surrender to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then the holy name reveals himself. Right? Nama Guna Lila, everything will be revealed to us when we surrender to the Lord. But if on the other hand, if one challenges, then what happens? Because Krishna is not our order supplier. That okay, many people challenge, show me God. Arey, God is your servant or what? If you tell, show me the president, is he going to come? So that doesn't work. So there is a process to connect. So only by the mercy of the Lord can he be revealed. That's why in Brahma Samhita there is a beautiful verse. Premanjana churita bhakti bilochanena. So when our eyes be anointed with the love, so this love is a common factor. When we have love for the Lord, love for the things that we are doing, love for the chanting, love for the devotees, then we can be supremely beneficial. On the other hand, if we are embedding, we are keeping some grudge, some envy, just like Ashwatthama, he was born in a Brahmin family. He was born of Dronacharya, who is the topmost acharya or teacher. But he failed the whole point. He took such a horrible crime he did. So similarly, one may be born in a glorious place, in a glorious family. But if his attitude is not humble, then he is going to miss the whole point. On the other hand, if one is not born in such a great place, in a great family, but he has this sweet love, then everything will be revealed. Dibya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. So our external qualification is not our qualification. When they are utilized in Krishna's seva, or when we are surrendering, when you have love for Krishna, then only it can be revealed. The knowledge will be revealed to us. So Krishna also tells that Bhakta mam abhijananti javanja shashmi tattvada tato mam tattvata gatva visate tad anantaram. That only a devotee, when he sweet surrenders, by his devotion, by his bhakti only, he can understand. So I'll pause for a moment. Anybody has any reflections, comments, questions? Yes, Francis.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you for the very nice class. There are so many nice points. You started with the point that Krishna is impartially partial. So he is available to everyone, just like a court magistrate or government is available for everyone. Anybody can progress and get a good position in the government. So similarly, Krishna is ready to give his favor if one works for it. At the same time, one cannot succeed by one's endeavor. One needs mercy of the devotees. So that was really nice. I like the point about Uttara. You mentioned that although her husband was killed mercilessly in the battle, she did not lose her faith on Krishna. When Ashwatthama released the weapon for killing Parikshit, Uttara immediately cried for Krishna's help. She did not want her life saved, but Parikshit's life saved. That is the qualification of a devotee. And thirdly, I also like that Krishna, it's a sweet surrender. It's reciprocal. So devotee gives up everything for Krishna, but Krishna is ready to give up everything for his devotee. Just like he acted as a chariot driver, as a chauffeur. He stole the kheer for Madhavendra Puri. He can do anything. So it's not one-sided. So it's a sweet surrender. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions, comments, online, offline? Okay, Mataji, yeah, Pavani Bhakti Mataji. Then Raseshwari Mataji. Pavani Bhakti Mataji, yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. So many beautiful points. I really liked when you said this definition of aparad. I never thought of that, like there's Radha in aparad, and if we do the Vaishnava aparad, then it takes you some distance away from Radha. So it's not going to come back again to Radha. And I also appreciated when you gave the example that when the poor man begs to the king, what mood he has, that's a similar mood we should have when we chant to Krishna, and we should be completely incomplete. And I really like the way you said that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Raseshwari Mataji has a point.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a beautiful class. I liked how you mentioned that, Queen Kunti's prayers actually are in the first canto itself, and actually they cover so many layers of her realization, which we can learn from, as a, mood, how she goes deeper and deeper, where she reveals how to actually approach the Lord. I really appreciate that because I've always been thinking and how to understand adhikar at every point. Actually, we go back to the prayers we can get at every stage. What is our adhikar?
Thank you, Mataji. Nice points. Anybody else? Okay, we'll continue with our discussion. I was giving an example. Halfway we broke there, so we discussed half part. So Sachinandan Maharaj was explaining hungry beggar. So we discussed the hungry part. So we have to be hungry for the knowledge. We have to feel the need. I need Krishna. I need devotees. I need to chant. I need to hear. Unless we feel that, unless we develop that hunger, we'll not be able to supremely benefit from the knowledge that we gather, from the association that we have. Just like wonderful Rajbhog is offered in the afternoon. But if you're already full, we can't appreciate it so much. On the other hand, especially I remember some kids, they fast from the morning if they hear there's a pizza in the prasadam. They skip breakfast. Because that hunger, if we have, then even simple food also satisfies us. So there are two factors, the food and also our hunger. So the knowledge is top class. It has been discussed for millions of ages. How Brahma understood in 4 verses, and we are unable to understand even so many lifetimes, so many people are telling so many things, so many lectures is still not breaking the thick. So the reason, because we are missing the hunger. We think we are okay, we are fine. Without Krishna we are fine. That is exactly the reason why Krishna created this world, that we can think we are fine. But we have to think, no, we are not fine. We really need Krishna. And a devotee can help us understand that knowledge. So we really need to feel that, yes, so many things are happening in my life. There are so many shortcomings. I'm disturbed early in the morning. I'm unable to chant. I'm thinking this and that. I need to chant. Krishna, please help me. Chant. So many things I'm still doing, even after hearing that there is a 10 offense, right? 10th offense. And that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita 8.16, it tells, Bahu janma kare jodi shravana kirtana, tabu to na pai Krishna pade prema dhana. Even if we do bahu janma, many lifetimes of shravana and kirtana, hearing and chanting, tabu to na pai Krishna pade prema dhana, still we will not get the prem dhan, the love for Krishna, unless we carefully trying to follow the process and trying to avoid the aparads. So just mechanically follow the process, Sachinandan Maharaj was telling, like a factory worker. Okay, I've done my job of chanting 16 rounds. No. It's calling out for Krishna. Hare Krishna is actually addressing Krishna. When shall we realize that? When shall we then avoid? Tell my mind, okay, nothing else is important right now because I'm calling for Krishna. It is actually calling for Krishna and begging. Srila Prabhupada translates that. Hare Krishna Mahamantra has many meanings, but Srila Prabhupada gave a very simple meaning. It is begging for a child for Mother Hara. Mother Hara helps in engaging in the devotional service of Hari or Krishna. It is as simple as that. It is literally a begging Krishna to engage us in His seva. How many lifetimes shall we live in separation from Krishna? Just like a child, if he leaves home, anything is going to satisfy him? No. Unless he comes back home. So, another qualification of a beggar is that he repeatedly asks. You have seen beggar? Here also, I have seen in India also. He repeatedly comes back to the car, to the person. In India they say, "Do paisa de de bhai." So, Amma de do paisa. And he puts his hand, her hand, and repeatedly asks. That is the profession we need to adopt for spiritually. That is the attitude. A hungry beggar. A desperate. Hungry means already desperate. Begging. We have to humble ourselves and beg for love of Krishna. Just like a child cries. We really need that. So that's the that is the mood Sachidanand Maharaj was telling. And when we have that mood, then we can very quickly advance in our devotional life. So continuing this, Maya Javanika Channam. So we see that a foolish people, a foolish observer, just like Krishna is dressed, even if Krishna is in front of our eyes, we will not be able to understand Krishna. People tell that, show me God. Even if God is present, you will not be able to understand because you are not qualified to understand. Example, Duryodhan. Krishna was there right in the front. Did he understand Krishna? He challenged Krishna. That's why one time one reporter challenged, did you see God? Prabhupada is telling, I'm not only saw God, I'm seeing God everywhere. But you will not be able to understand that. So Queen Kunti is repeating the same word. That's why from Kunti's prayer, so many things we can actually learn. Exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So, next verse. Tatha paramahamsanam muninam amalatmanam bhakti yoga vidhanartam katham pashyam hi striyaha. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental signs of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? So here in this verse we see that Krishna himself descends to propagate devotional service. So just by creating a world where we can falsely think ourselves as the Lord, Krishna is not satisfied. He's really pained that we are here and suffering, forgetting him. So he personally descends, as Queen Kunti is telling. He comes in Vrindavan, Rama, Narsingha, Baraha, as Krishna himself. He does sweet pastimes here. Just by hearing that, we have access to the same pastime. Just by hearing Bhagavad Gita, we right now have, in this age of Kali, in this age of struggle, with all our anarthas, difficulties, shortcoming, we have the same opportunity as other Brajavasis had, as Arjuna had. Just by hearing this sound vibration in parampara. So Krishna descends. What is the purpose? This was one of the questions asked by 6 sages. The purpose of Krishna's descent is to reclaim the souls. So Krishna is pained that we are here. That's why he sends the saints. He sends the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he descended in this world. One of his purposes, the external purpose, he has 3 external purpose and internal purpose. His external purpose is to propagate the holy name. By his mercy, all over the world, today people are chanting. Even in the battlefield, even in the Ukraine-Russia war going on, there was one devotee who was chanting and holding the gun at one hand. There was a photo. And he is happy, even in that situation. So situation around us may drastically change, but Krishna has given the process where it can be supremely satisfied. Gajendra, as we are explaining, the crocodile caught Gajendra. And he was very miserable situation. And thousands of years he fought. But the moment he decided to surrender to Krishna, he lifted in that situation. After thousands of years of fighting and fatigue, once he decided to lift that lotus flower and offer, that becomes his happiest moment in life. Not when he was intoxicated and roaming in the forest in pride. Look at my power. He was suffering. Similarly, when we are intoxicated with our so many qualifications, our wealth, this and that, we will remain miserable. We are not happy. We are just, our senses are too agitated. That's why people suffer. That's why people are stressed out. But once they do a sweet surrender, even the situation is so horrible. The crocodile is catching, so much blood has come for 10,000 years. So no matter what our external situation is, the moment we decide to surrender to Krishna, serve a devotee, serve Krishna, we are happiest right at that moment. That is our happiest moment, irrespective of what is our external situation. Proof, Gajendra. So many proofs. Duryodhan. They usurped Pandavas' kingdoms, took away by illegal means. The poor guys could not sleep for 11 years. Pandavas are peacefully discussing, although they are in a precarious situation, but they are discussing Krishna Katha with all the Brahmanas. So it's not our external situation, it is our internal situation that determines how happy we can be. And this clue is given in the pages of Bhagavatam. Queen Kunti is revealing that. So Queen Kunti is telling that Krishna descends to propagate the Bhakti Yoga, and great saints. So what she is telling is, you yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. So only great saints could understand the Lord, the perfection of life, the philosophy of life, the love of God. But how then can we women know you perfectly? So Kunti presenting herself as a very simple lady, and apparently she is presenting herself disqualified to understand God. This is the consciousness to understand God. Till we feel disqualified, we will not be qualified to understand Krishna. This is the qualification. This is the attitude to understand Krishna, to progress in devotion. Till Arjuna surrendered that Karpanna dosa, I am overcome by my weakness. Till we understand that I am really a fallen, rotten soul with so many anarthas of lust, greed, anger, envy, pride and illusion constantly tormenting us. Krishna, I need your shelter. I'm totally disqualified. Till today, I'm struggling with so many anarthas. Unless we come to this conclusion, the door to the spiritual world won't open because it is locked, and the key to that lock is humility. This is the symptom. Queen Kunti is teaching us how to be humble. She is teaching us, when you feel disqualified, then you humble, and that pleases the Lord. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is a great scholar. He is a billionaire. He is the chief minister and finance minister. They are telling that, who am I? Amike kane more jare tapotray. Why am I suffering in this world? These questions we don't ask. We think we are fine. Please tell me, Mahaprabhu. So, and by seeing, Mahaprabhu tells that, by your humility, it's breaking my heart. They actually put a straw in the street when Mahaprabhu came to Malda, the section where they surrendered, Ramkeli village. They actually came, straw in the street, they fell. And then Mahaprabhu asking them, please stop your humility, is breaking my heart. So when Mahaprabhu's heart breaks, what comes out is love for Krishna. So that's why he empowered Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami to preach, write Shastras for love of Godhead, because they broke Mahaprabhu's heart with their humility. Humility is the only instrument by which you can break Mahaprabhu's heart, Krishna's heart, and then he'll reveal himself. So this humility is the ornament of a saint. Humility, forgiveness. So again, Queen Kunti here, we see she is telling disqualified. But is she actually disqualified? Her prayer is the first in Bhagavatam. And Krishna, all the time reciprocating with her. But this is the quality. We see all the great acharyas follow the same mindset. Kaviraj Goswami, he is telling that I am more fallen than the worm in the stool. Is he actually more fallen? No, he is very advanced. The spiritual mathematics works like this. The more advanced one is, he genuinely, not fakely, he genuinely thinks himself more fallen. It's like the sun. The more you know the glories of the sun, you understand the insignificance of us in front of the sun. It's an honesty. It's not faking, it's a genuine feeling. The more we know the greatness of Krishna, the more we know the greatness of devotees, the more we know the greatness of the process, we'll feel ourselves insignificant. That is an honesty, and that is a qualification to understand the Lord. So, and Krishna is very, 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 very pleased by that. So when we humble, that's why we offer obeisances, that we practice humility. When we humble ourselves before Krishna, when we humble ourselves before devotees, then Krishna very mercifully reveals himself. I'll end with this last story. So there was in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Ashtaprahariya Leela, we discussed Sridhar, right? Kulavicha Sridhar. And again, there is another beautiful lesson from that pastime. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, and he is revealing the Ishwar Bhav. Very few times Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed himself as the God. God means the Supreme Controller with all opulence. This was one such rare time. He is basically, one of the qualities of God is he is supremely merciful. So he is bestowing his mercy to all the devotees. Somebody is telling, oh, my relative, please forgive him, he is very offensive. Mahaprabhu is forgiving. Please give him love of Godhead. So that's why we should pray, even for our relatives. It really helps. So these devotees, they prayed, and Mahaprabhu fulfilled their desire. A devotee desires, Krishna feels obliged. So all the great Mahans, they were doing Abhishek of the Lord. Like here we do Abhishek. With water we give bath, then Panchamrit, ghee, yogurt, etc. So Mahaprabhu's was given Abhishek. And after this great festival, Mahaprabhu asked, who is that person who is getting water here? So there was a Shribas, it happened in the house of Shribas. He had a servant called Dukhi. Dukhi means one who is miserable. The name kept Dukhi because in his life there were so many miseries that had happened. So that no further misery happens, they kept the name itself miserable. So that the destiny becomes like, kind and doesn't put any more misery. So Mahaprabhu is Antaryami. So he said, who is that person who is getting the water? So Dukhi was constantly getting nice water in a kalsi, a pot, and keeping it ready for the Mahants to do the Abhishek, great devotees to do the Abhishek. And because Mahaprabhu is Antaryami, so Mahaprabhu, then Shiva said, my servant, her name is miserable one, Dukhi. He said, what? Dukhi? This name doesn't sit in my heart. And I'm so pleased with his seva. From today, your name is Sukhi, the happy one. And by telling that, Mahaprabhu bestowed his love of Godhead, the rare Krishna Prem, which all the living entities are searching for in this world. No matter, even if they try for money, ultimately they're searching for that love of Godhead. Who is the great yogis, they are trying, but nobody is getting. Mahaprabhu just gifted to her. Why? Because this Dukhi was pushing everyone in the front. Similarly, in our life, in our devotional life, when we put others in front of us, we make ourselves humble, then in Krishna takes great notice of us. So spiritual mathematics is little different. When we stand last and push everyone first, in Krishna's lotus eye we are first. When we push everybody else and put ourselves first, in Krishna's eye we are last. So we should take every opportunity to help, serve a devotee, humble ourselves, give them opportunity to serve. So this great lesson was revealed by Dukhi. Again, another example of humility, another simple lady who actually won the prize of love of Godhead, which not so many great scholars even get. So there is no disqualification. All it needs is one's genuine, humble attitude, genuine love. So we saw today, to summarize, that Queen Kunti, how he took shelter of Krishna, and Queen Kunti's life, so many problems have happened. But Here she is glorifying Krishna, she is praying to Krishna. She is not complaining. Because complaint is like a cancer of the mind. This is a symptom of his diseased mind, is complaint. And we see how Uttara, external cancer can kill one lifetime. Or perhaps it might be even cured with chemotherapy and all. But this internal cancer can kill us life after life after life. Because you have to keep taking birth till we get rid of this deadly disease, cancer of the mind, called complaint, comparison and criticism. So, Uttara, again, we see Uttara who took shelter of the Lord, and then Queen Kunti offered wonderful prayers. Those prayers are listed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So I highly, highly recommend that please get a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. It will be very, very good investment for us. We are investing in so many things. This is probably a price of 2 meals that might cost us. It's a great asset. Because in this Srimad Bhagavatam, this is just the first canto. It is full of life lessons. Saints are discussing this for 5,000 years. Many people have achieved perfection in their life. And we can also achieve perfection. The same access is there to us also. So please get these great assets for us. Just like for cooking, we have to get oil and some other vegetables and other stuff, right? Similarly, you have to practice spiritual life. We need these basic ingredients and some books we need. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And just like we need some spices, so we need to do some seva. So we can render some seva, like serve prasad, broom the floor, serve in kitchen. No, we need to associate with devotees. These are all ingredients we ourselves need to practice, come in association of spiritual life. So thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate, and thanks for tolerating me for a long time. If anything good and inspiring, it is only the credit is Vashik Maharaj, Nirakula Mataji, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas. Anything wrong, that's mine. Kindly beg forgiveness for that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll now have Guru Puja, Puja of Srila Prabhupada. So you can prepare for that. So after Guru Puja, we'll have Prasadam. So please stay back and have a wonderful Prasadam means the meal that is offered to Krishna. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Okay, We'll read this Guru Bandhana sloka. Prabhu, you can go to the next. Namashreshtam manumapi sachiputra atra swarupam Shri Rupam tasagrajadamurupuri madhurim goshtavatim Radha kundam girivaram maho radhika madhavasam Prapta yasya pratita kripaya Shri Gurum tam natosmi He Guru Gyanadadina Bandhu Swananda Data Karunaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sinahita Avatara Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachara He Dinabandhu Karunaika Sindhu Kuru Prasadam Mai Mandamure Lakshavarade Bahu Papagare Tatpada Padme Stuto Matis Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Sachimata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar Rupa Goswami and his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radha Kund and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for loving service of Shri Shri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha and Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the universe. O master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kebala Bhakati Sadma Bandamoi Savadhana Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhava Kariya Jai Krishna Prapte Hai Jaha Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chittete Pariyaka Shri Guru Charane Rate Eshe Uttama Gati Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरिता श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर दीवाना खाहा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पद छाया प्रभु पाद कर दया देह मोरे पद छाया हे बेजात पुष्पे भवाना शिला प्रभु पाद पतिता पवाना तू अपदे लैलो शरणा अपदे लैलो शरणा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru, Prabhupada, Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन जय श्री राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय महाप्रभु 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 जय महाप्रभु जय पंचतत्व 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 जय पंचतत्व जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव गीताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की श्रीमान महाप्रभु की श्री श्री पंचतत्व भगवान की श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की हरि नाम संकीर्तन की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की हरि नाम संकीर्तन की निताय गौर ब्रह्मानंदे all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga all glories to the Prabhupada ki so we now sing Prasadam prayer and then if there is any announcement
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining us today on a Saturday morning. People have so many things to do on the weekend, but you have joined us today. So thank you so much for coming. Are there any newcomers coming first time? Your name, Prabhu?
Mantosh.
Mantosh. Mantosh. Let's chat. Anybody else?
Prabhat.
Prabhat, Prabhu. You are visiting from?
I'm from Pune, from ACC.
Oh, Pune. Wow. Prabhat, Prabhu. And? Anuja Mataji. So let's chant a big Hare Krishna Mahamantra to, welcome our newcomers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you regularly as long as you are here. Thank you so much. We would like to thank His Grace Shyamarupa Prabhu. He did a clean sweep, as they say in cricket. He joined from 4:30 a.m. He sang mangala-arati, and then he took us to Japa circle, and then Kirtan after that, and Brahma Samhita prayers, and then Bhagavatam class, then Guru Puja, and the beautiful Kirtan. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Let's say a big round of applause for Prabhu. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! I heard from Shyamarupa Prabhu in the morning. He read from Prabhupada Leela Shri Namamrita book that the sound in spiritual world is eternal and nectarian, but the sound in material world is hackneyed. So the chanter feels more enlivened when he chants the holy names. So we can see Shyamarupa Prabhu, his enthusiasm was only increasing. And I'm sure he can do this whole day. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And we would like to thank our broadcast team, Ramanand Sakha Prabhu, Charu Nimai Prabhu, and Krishnangi Gopika Mataji for broadcasting. Thank you so much. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Do we know the cooks, Prabhu? Hansa Prima? That's it? Okay. So cooks for today, Hansa Priya Mataji. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So we are continuing with our Sankirtan. We have announcements from Bhakti community and then Sankirtan.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, thank you. As you all know, Bhakti community is a place for any newcomer. If you are first time here, and if you would like to have more association, we have online programs that you can attend. We have 4 programs that go on during the week. First is Monday, which is called Bhakti On. We are doing an affirmation series. So we start with an affirmation and we talk about that affirmation. It's being very successful. The participants really loved it. This week we also started our Discover Yourself series, which happens on Thursday. There were close to 55 participants who joined this week, and we had a mantra of the series ended. The last series ended, and we asked everyone to each one get one. So whoever finished the course, we asked them to get one more person, and there were a lot of devotees, participants who became devotees, and they got their friends and family, and it was really inspiring to see all of them doing that. Thank you. There was one participant who came for the first time, and we start with a small video, and then we take them to different breakout rooms to discuss and get more closer to the spiritual community. And as soon as she went in the breakout room and she started loving it, she started pinging some of her friends, please join, this is really good, like you have to join, you can't miss this. So she was telling us that she was really inspired and she'll attend it every week. And similar reactions we got from many newcomers who are like college student or who are like grown-up people. So there are varieties of people who joined. So we encourage everyone who is new to the community to slowly get integrated. It's a good channel for you all to log in and attend. We also have our corporate programs that where various corporates like Salesforce, Google, Amazon, Intel, those corporates join. We introduced the Success Sadhana app this week to them, and they were very inspired to use the app. It's a simple app which will help us to do our sadhana better, chanting counts, gratitude journals, things like that. So that was introduced. We also have a series called Women's Circle that happens every Sunday. If you know a woman, your wife, your friend or colleagues who are devotional and who want to become more spiritual and looking for spiritual association, we have a very good set of women who regularly come on our Sunday programs. We are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam and various qualities like compassion, truthfulness, envy and things like that. So that's a very successful program also. So bottom line, if there is anybody who is interested for a spiritual association, send them to Bhakti Community. You can just register them at bhakticommunity.com. If you have any questions, you can write to hi@bhakticommunity.com. So we'll be happy to welcome you. Oh, by the way, there's one more thing we started this week. Every morning, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., we are doing japa, that is chanting together. There is a group of participants who have started attending regularly. Grace is here. She has been joining. We don't force everybody to join at 5 and stay till 7. It's very flexible. You can join anytime you like, get some spiritual association. We also read a few verses from Namamrita. And it's a very sweet and simple association where we all just chant together. If you are inspired, send somebody who will be inspired with that association. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
I don't know if Malini Mataji is here on the call or Zoom, for Sankirtan announcements. If definitely we are continuing our Sankirtan parties all over the Bay Area. So we have Ram Navami coming on April 10th. So we have goal for distributing at least 25 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So if you don't have one, or if you want to give to a friend, this is the best time. We will offer it to Lord Ram, and you will get mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Ram on Ram Navami. We are also continuing Western Sankirtan. There are teams going to San Francisco, Auckland. So you can contact me if you want to join for San Francisco. For Oakland, you can contact Vaishnav Toshni Prabhu or Adin Prabhu. Thank you so much. So we'll continue with the Prashadam prayers. Prabhu.
Shariya Vidyaja Jarendriya Tahe Kal Jibe Pele Vishaya Shagore Tarmande Jibayati Lobha Maya Shudurmati Thake Jetha Kathina samsare Krishna Barodayamai Kori bare chibajai Shaprasadanna dilabai Chayannamrita pao Radha Krishna guna gao Preme dako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Preme dako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmane Vaishnave Svalpa Punnam Bhatam Rajan Vishyasanaiva Jayate Prasade Sarva Dukkha Nam Hanerasya Pajayate Prasanna Cheta Shayasho Buddhi Paryabhitishtat Bhagavad Sri Mahaprasadam Ki Jai. Please honor, take Mahaprasadam. I don't know where it is served, outside or okay, somewhere you discover.